today. And definitely, I have a very advantageous position, being part of one of the largest consultancies in the world, as well as our partner internally with one of the largest cybersecurity practices in the world as well, right? So you put those two things together, it's a pretty interesting viewpoint. And that said, GAO, from a broad perspective, recently issued a report kind of on the status and progress of cloud computing across the federal government. And interestingly enough, I mean, basically at the agency by agency level, there's about 5% to 30% of the applications have been migrated to the cloud. And so when you look at that on the whole, somewhere between 75 and 80% are still in play, right? Are still things that have not yet been migrated to the cloud. And so from that vantage point, I think agencies have kind of a portfolio of maturity that they're looking at in terms of their cloud migrations. Lift and shift obviously is still in play as the kind of initial phase and soiree into the cloud. People are still trying to optimize their approach that way. I think, getting past lift and shift, modernization becomes increasingly important at the application level, not just at the infrastructure level. So people are thinking about, how do I incorporate more cloud native architectures and technologies into these applications as part of the migration process. I think both of those factors, lift and shift and cloud native, the best practice that we're seeing is the establishment of a cloud migration factory, which is doing those activities in parallel. I think, like Shemendra talked about, is what's going on at DHS, is that kind of keeping these things moving concurrently rather than looking at things serially, which obviously is the faster route to the cloud. And then finally, multi-cloud and hybrid cloud architectures. Although most of the government and industry on the whole have adopted those as the predominant architecture of choice, it's still early stage. I don't think anybody has the magic formula yet. There's the deeper that you go. I've actually had a team working on this for about 2.5 years now, trying to get a handle on what the challenges are that agencies are going to see and experience in a multi-cloud world. Each layer of the onion gets a lot more complicated, and hopefully we'll talk about that in more detail later on.
I'm hearing